Good morning and big up to everyone. Big up to all of you joining us. And it's a new day, a new dawn, a new era for Manchester United. Is it the beginning or is it just more paper talk, guys? But, as we say, Sir James Ratcliffe minority stake has been ratified and there's nothing much fans could do about it now but just sit back and watch and observe the process that's about to happen. We can speculate all we want, just like all the journalists, guys, but at the end of the day, some things might not be known and some things might just be pure speculation. As you can see, no one knew when we signed Omar Barada, guys. So it's one of those things where, there's lots of articles hitting the paper talk this morning, but we're gonna get into them, but we have to say that they are just also speculation. We're not too sure if it's fact or if it's fiction, but let's see what they have in store for us because you know what, guys? Man United are taking steps forward. Good morning, guys, and don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. Get in the comments and give your opinions, your thoughts on the ratification of the 25% minority stake investment by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Let's see what's cooking. Guys, thank you for joining me. Big up to all of you guys, and how are you doing today? You know how it is. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. Yes, and it's the morning views. Guys, how are you doing? What's going on? Tell me your thoughts. Ratification process is the first step on the way. What's next, guys, for Manchester United? It's one of those things where you're just gonna see it's a lot of changes to be afoot, lots of processes to happen, lots of things need to be done. And guys, it's one of those things where you can't expect too much right now, but stay positive and let's see what's in store. Let's get into the first article, and it definitely comes our way. As you know, they've been talking about it all summer long and all through the winter window, all about this guy. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you're thinking. And David Ornstein is on the mark early as usual. And let's see what he's talking about as he gives a huge update on Manchester United's pursuit of Dan Ashworth. And guys, I'm not going to say that I don't believe this. There's some truth in this matter. Usually, where there's smoke, there is fire, guys. But you know what? Take it with a pinch of salt. Manchester United have reportedly made Dan Ashworth, Newcastle's Dan Ashworth, the top sporting director target, with the 52-year-old open to working under Ineos. On Tuesday, the Premier League confirmed in a statement that they have ratified Sir Jim Ratcliffe's deal with the Glazers to complete a partial 25% stake investment. Guys, the only thing is pending before Ratcliffe can officially start working at United is the final green light from the FA. This is expected to come as soon as it's only a formality at this stage. After the appointment of Omar Barada as United's next CEO and Richard Arnold's successor, the next priority for Ineos is bringing in a sporting director to oversee the club's football operations. Several names are understood to be in the running for the job, including Dan Ashworth. Guys, you know what it is. A recent report covered by the People's Person relayed that Newcastle are seeking assurances from Ashworth about his future at St. James's Park amidst growing concerns over continuous links to United. It was stated that while the transfer guru is happy at St. James's Park, it's likely that he would find it hard to turn down a switch to the Red Devils. This has now been confirmed by the Athletic's David Ornstein, who said that movements to land Ashworth are set to pick up pace in the coming days, now that the Premier League ratification has been attained. According to a reliable source, Ornstein, Manchester United have identified Dan Ashworth as their number one target to become the club's sporting director. Although an approach has yet to be made to Newcastle, that is anticipated as the new regime at Old Trafford seek to recruit him. No agreement has been reached for the 52-year-old to embark upon the potential switch, and any move for him will not be straightforward, given he is contracted to Newcastle. However, the situation expected to develop rapidly, with Ashworth thought to be open to the opportunity of joining Manchester United's football structure under Ineos. Ornstein adds that Ashworth should accept the job. He will play a pivotal role in player recruitment at the Theatre of Dreams. He joined Newcastle from Brighton in February 2022. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Let me know what you are thinking. What is going on? Do you agree with that statement of Dan Ashworth being the top priority for Manchester United, or is it just the top reported name that everyone is hearing about? Guys, what are your thoughts? Richard, I see Stephanie Griffith is here. Kenny Fan TV says KDB is just inevitable. Bro, this is a Manchester United stream. We're not talking about KDB this morning, and we're not going to be talking about him today. Maybe we'll talk about him tomorrow after when we do the roundup of UCL matches for this game week. But guys, more on Manchester United news. Big up to you, Stephanie Griffith. Hope you're having a great day. Big up to Sachiv. Richard Hutchinson is coming in. Big up, Mark. Is Man United going to get top four this season? Man, you can almost be sure that we will be in contention for that right now. I would say let's see what the weekend has in store. And if we could get another 3 points versus Luton, top four should be in and amongst the cards for Manchester United. Richard, get in. What's going on with you, bro? Radcliffe is going to get Mbappe and Bellingham. Nah, bro. I doubt it. I doubt that a lot. Maybe Mbappe because, there might be some funds available and there might be a potential to get him in, as he will probably be one of those, Glazer-nomic signings as well, because he's a shirt seller and he would definitely either wear number 10 or number 7. So it wouldn't be a bad change, because currently on number 7 sits on the bench. He's only played like 7 games this season, has not contributed that much, and we are not sure if we're going to see him play for the rest of the season. Big up to you, Stephanie Griffith, coming in. 3 likes, guys. Get in, smash the like buttons. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. It helps the channel grow. And, comment is just as easy as comment. Just smash that thumbs up. You know how it is, guys. The only thing we got to ask for, because you know what? It helps the show get around to the next one. And then the next person might be able to smash that thumbs up and help it get on to another person as well. So be the first to smash the like, share it around. Let us know what you're thinking. Guys, get in the thoughts. Let me know what's going on. Who will be responsible for unwanted player removal? As important as, well, Stephanie, if we have a director of football, I would bet my money that he would be that guy. And at the end of the day, I think the suggestions would probably come from Eric Ten Hag and the coaching staff as to who the players that are deemed surplus to requirements. I'm as we are talking about that, I wanted to bring some honorable mention to, as you were talking about players who we might be considering, and recruitment is very important. So let's talk about these guys. I don't know if you know, but Manchester United are looking at a summer overhaul, and there are a couple players set to be in and amongst the running for selection to be bought by Manchester United this summer. And one of those players, everyone knows his name, Jared Brantwaite. He plays his football at Everton, and they're trying to avoid the tunnel vision through a trio of, as Olise Alternative sets own asking price. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Let's go. Michael Olise, Jaron Brantwaite, and Johan Bakayoko are all on Manchester United's radar ahead of the summer. Manchester United keep in contact with 3 centre-backs to avoid a Jaron Brantwaite tunnel vision, while a Michael Olise alternative has set its own asking price. Wow, that's interesting. No tunnel vision for Eric Ten Hag. He will want to make improvements throughout his Manchester United squad come the summer, with the defense said to be a particular source of concern for the Dutchman. Jaron Brantwaite appears to be the most in-demand centre-back right now, with Chelsea, Arsenal, Real Madrid all set to have inquired about the Everton star, but it's United and Tottenham set for a transfer scramble, according to the Daily Mail. The report claims that United, whose transfers will be under the control of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's and Ineos for the first time this summer, are said to be targeting two young centre backs, and Branthwaite is particularly appealing given his preference to operate on the left side. But crucially, given United's penchant to put all their eggs in one basket, in their chase of specific targets in the past, it's claimed that there's no tunnel vision on Branthwaite. It's claimed that they're keeping in contact with a number of options, including Benfica's Antonio Silva, Jean-Claire Todibo, and Lille's 18-year-old Lenny Euro. You remember Lenny Euro, guys? I did a lot of streams about this youngster, and I'm telling you guys, he's very, very talented. You know what I mean? There's no mention of Goncalo Ignacio there, but guys, and also Giorgio Scalvini, but keep your eyes on those names. Even though they're not being mentioned, I would like to let you all know that it is my firm belief that these guys will definitely be on United's radar. Not only that, but they will also be prime targets. Don't be surprised if we snatch Giorgio Scalvini as the first signing of the summer, guys. I'm just saying it now, so hope you're having a good morning. Let's keep on. The subjective objectivity. PSV Eindhoven director Ernst Stewart has already admitted that it is likely that Johan Bakayoko's final season for the Dutch Giants. And amid interest from United, the winger has set his own asking price. Bakayoko's got 6 goals and 13 assists in all competitions for PSV this season, exclusively from the right wing, where his performances have compared favorably with the United star Anthony, who cost the Red Devils twice as much as Bakayoko reckons he's worth. The 20-year-old was particularly impressive in their 1-1 draw with Arsenal in the Champions League group stage, which likely added a few quid to his Premier League price. Asked what he reckons he would be worth, Bakayoko replied, "I think it's really a funny question. You also have to look at what others can do. If you look closely and look very objectively, I don't think there are many players my age who do what I do. I don't know what the prices are, but I think between 40 and 50 million euros is reasonable." Guys, this youngster sounds like he's got the character. You know what I mean? It's interesting that he would say it like that, and I couldn't help but smile reading that comment. We would query whether a footballer judging their own value can be very objective, but Transfer Market reckons he's worth 40 million euros. So Bakayoko is about right. Top target Olise seems though that United's top priority on the right wing remains Michael Olise, though they look set to face a fight from Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City for his services. Olise has managed 6 goals and 3 assists in just 11 Premier League appearances in this term, seemingly catching the eye of all the big boys throughout his displays for Crystal Palace. But as we know, guys, he's injured for the second time this season, and you have already played 24 games. He's only played 11 in the Premier League. Guys, he's missed half of the season, and a major half. You know what I mean? So it's one of those concerns that we have to look at, that he might be injured. And 70 million for a player who's already missed half of the season, I'm not too sure that's the way Manchester United should be heading. Radcliffe and Ineos are said to be focused on signing homegrown talent, which puts Olise above Bakayoko and other right-wing targets on their transfer shortlist. A swap deal in form of former Palace star Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been mooted in the past, and transfer expert Alex Crook says that it remains a possible route for United to explore. Before explaining that they are working on a deal behind the scenes in a bid to beat their rivals to the 22-year-old signing, Crook said, "Manchester United will be working on this deal actively behind the scenes. Man City and Chelsea also have shown interest, so I think United will want to try to get that deal done early." Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Let me know what you are thinking. There's lots to be said, lots that are going on. Let's see what you are saying here. Not sure about Branthwaite, as Stephanie Griffith is coming in saying got brushed aside way too easily by Haaland last weekend, and pressure might be too much playing for us. I won't disagree with you there. I also would like to say that, he wants to play off the left side. And one of the things for me is it concerning that we already have Lisandro Martinez? Do you think Jared Branthwaite could dislodge Lisandro Martinez in the left centre-back position? Which I'm not 100% sure about. At the same time, I would say, would he be willing to, to come in and fight for a spot, sit on the bench and come on as a substitute? Not too sure about that either. So, guys, while Jared Braithwaite sounds amazing, we have to keep it realistic and look at the positions that we really need backup for. And although we need backup for Martinez, if he was to get injured again, guys, it's going to be a substitute position. It's not going to be a starting role. Do you think if a fit Martinez he is fit for the entire next season, Jared Braithwaite would be playing? He prefers to operate off the left side of centre back, guys. Keep this in mind. You know, Kenny Fan TV's coming in. Olise hasn't got the right personality for me. He's way too injury prone. I would agree with those comments, Kenny. I think Olise is just feeding off of some hype of recency bias, in my opinion. He's heavily right-footed. And if I had to say myself, although he's good at the free kicks, I think United are pretty much stacked with players who are very good on the right off of the wing. And in my honest opinion, 70 million, it does not equate for value. At the same time, some people might disagree with me, but I would say if we judge based on football, we have Mason Greenwood. I don't think he could step into his left or his right cleat at the same time. Yeah, 4 likes. Big up to you guys. Thanks for coming in. Smash those likes. Don't forget. And Stephanie saying availability, attitude, ability, 3 KPIs needed for any existing and new players. 100%. Big up to you coming in, Brush. First time seeing you in a while. Hope you're having a good day, bro. And yeah, you know what I mean? Going on with Stephanie Griffith's comments, I would have to say that I totally agree there. I'm not going to say Michael Olise is not talented, but the injury-prone situation is giving me some concerns. And at the same time, people might say, if he's not that injury-prone, but he's missed 13 out of the 24 games played this season in the Premier League alone. And it's one of those things where is that going to leave us if we pay 70 million for him? I mean, we could see some signs of this with Mason Mount. We paid 65 million for him the first signing of this summer, and he's only played 7 Premier League games. And what is happening? 24 games have been played. He's missed more than 17 games in total in the season already. That is not value for money. And he might be a talented player, but availability, guys, availability. It's one of the things we cannot be overlooking. Brush is coming in. It's the same issue with Pedro Neto. Very good footballer, but the injury record doesn't make good for reading. Only 23, though. 100% Brush. Like, I agree with that comment, but, if we're judging football and we're talking about a footballer with the best ability who can come into our squad and we're leaving it just purely based on football, we don't really have to spend any money. We got a guy that's turning it up in Spain right now. He's got more than 11 GA this season already. He's involved in each and every goal that the team is scoring. They're currently in 10th position in La Liga, and I'd admit to you guys, if it wasn't for Mason Greenwood, they'd definitely be battling for relegation. And at the same time, there are other players. We have players coming out at the left back position. Youngster Alvaro Fernandez, who's off in Benfica in Portugal, doing really well. Had his first game this week, and he's set to be on the bench for their UCL game tonight. So, guys, I hope you are all paying attention and check him out, because I would like to say to you that, the injury situation with Luke Shaw is definitely becoming a concern, guys. Definitely becoming a concern. It's one of those things for me where I'm starting to think maybe we should reconsider, his priority in the squad. And a lot of people might disagree with that statement because, when Shaw plays, Rashford is automatically better. But at the same time, availability, guys, availability. We can't afford to be attempting to build a squad with consistency and then key players are not able to be consistently available. Brush is coming in here. If we could somehow loan Anthony to Wolves, I'd take Neto. LOL. Bro, you want to know something, bro? I'm gonna stay on the hill and die on this hill, bro. I'm gonna back that young lad to get himself and turn his situation around. You know what I mean? I'm not a guy who's always gonna be like I'm gonna back a player if I'm seeing consistently poor performances. But to be honest, Brush, I feel like we are giving Anthony too much criticism right now. We're not giving any context to the fact that he has not played football for like a major part in the middle of the start of the season. You know, everyone talks about he starts every game, but he's only played 11 games so far. He hasn't started more than seven games this season. And it's one of those things for me where he took himself out of contention for playing for Brazil just so he can get himself and his mind right. We all know that over the last year, he's faced a tragic situation based on allegations that, probably would ruin a lot of young people, and he's a young guy, 23 years old. It's hard to say he's coming from a different league. Last season, he was okay. We were all expecting him to kick on this season and be much better and deliver more goals and assists, but it has not happened. And I would attribute that to maybe a little bit of a mentality issue. And it may not be, a mentality issue that we should have looked at with a player, but it might be one of those things where, maybe he just needs some support, guys. Maybe he needs to know that the fan base is supporting him. And at the end of the day, there's no way we're getting him out of the club, even until the summer, if that's an option this summer. And who's to say it may be? But until then, guys, he's a Manchester United player. He wears that badge on his chest. I feel like as a fan base, we should be a fan base and support our team, support our players, show these guys some love. We have a few games left and we need these guys to be on their best. We need them to be fully motivated. We need them to be confident. And in the last few games, he may not have played. But Manchester United have played well, and all the players deserve their flowers, guys. And it's one of those things where I'm just gonna say that we have to find a way, to appreciate these players, appreciate the fact that they are what we have right now. And as much as we would want and say, listen, you know, we should be doing better. We should have better players. These players should be more consistent, should be performing better. They're just human beings at the end of the day. And sometimes, they could be in bad form. Like just like any one of us who has a bad week at work or a bad month, things just happening wrong. These things happen to normal people. Why can't it happen to them? And Brush is also coming in here. What on earth is happening to Terrell Malacia? This is why I would have kept Regulon squad depth. At the same time, I totally agree with that statement, but we have to always remember that, I feel like maybe I might be wrong thinking this way, but I feel like John Murtaugh is running the recruitment, and deciding the loans and players, and he's superseding Ten Hag on these things for some instances. Now, I would also say that getting some of these youngsters out on loan is the best thing for them because you know what? Those other teams would probably give them more game time than we can possibly afford to right now, especially since we're playing one game a week. So maybe it's better for their development that they go out there. And as I'm going on to this, guys, I'm going to bring up this article on Facundo Palestri, guys. And if you don't know, Facundo Palestri had a goal and assist against Barcelona. And if not for greedy play by some of his new teammates, he probably would have netted a brace and they would have won the game 4-2. But Barcelona was allowed to come back with a goal that should have been ruled a foul. And, sometimes it just happens like that. It happens in the Premier League, it happens in the UCL. Last night, if you looked at the Real Madrid game, I, for one, was thinking when I was watching the replay that, it was not a great performance. Real Madrid looked worse than Man United at their worst. I mean, they had a few good moments, but they should have been down 1-0 on the fourth minute of play to Benjamin Sesko, another Manchester United target. Guys, what is happening? He was ruled offside, but he definitely was not offside. He was smart enough to get himself back in an onside position before the ball was played, long before I would say, and headed it straight into the goal. But what might have happened is maybe the ruling that was announced was wrong, and maybe they were given a foul because there was a shove in the goalkeeper's back by one of the Leipzig forwards. Guys, let's just go into this article about Facundo Pellistri. Granada boss admits a pleasant surprise with the Man United loanee Facundo Pellistri, and the Granada coach Alexander Medina has today opened up his delight with the early endeavors of the loanee since linking up with the club. The winger, of course, secured a temporary move to Nuevo Estadio de los Carmenes late last month from the Premier League giants Manchester United, and the Uruguayan has since not taken at all long to make his presence felt. After impressing in their debut en route to a 1-1 La Liga draw with Las Palmas, Pellistri took things to another level altogether this past weekend, making a trip to Catalonia and for a showdown with heavyweights Barcelona. The 22-year-old notched both a goal and assist to ensure Granada came away with a credible share of the spoils. Speaking to the media this week, it therefore came as little surprise when subject of Pellistri's early form was put into aforementioned Alexander Medina. And Granada's boss made use of the opportunity to sing the praises of his fellow countryman, particularly impressed by Pellistri's work on the defensive side of the ball. Facu Pellistri surprised me in the first talk we had, Medina began, as cited by Sport 890. In these 2 weeks of work, he has given us a lot in defensive solidarity. I looked for Pellistri because I knew that he could give us. He meets all the conditions on the wing. He has had his personal ambition for growth, and that makes me happy. With Barcelona, he made a lot of effort in defense to execute the pressure. He had a goal and an assist. He consolidated in Europe, and it's up to us to guide him. So this is a positive loan. Thank you for having him. Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Have you been able to get any views on La Liga? Any views on the lonely players watching? If you haven't, I will be doing a show about that tomorrow at the end of Champions League, because we have one youngster who's probably going to play in the Champions League tomorrow for Benfica, and his name is Alvaro Fernandez. Guys, Leipzig literally outplayed Madrid, and how on earth that goal was disallowed? Sesko was onside. 100%, Sachiv. 100%. Pellistri just needed to score for United in his limited appearances, like Garnacho did to force his way into ETH's plans. That seems to be the way. Scoring and assisting is king. You want to know something, Stephanie? I wouldn't write off young Facundo Pellistri. A lot of people didn't think that Eric Ten Hag rated Jadon Sancho, but I would say to you that I think he rated him so highly that he was extremely disappointed with his attitude in the situations that developed recently, and that saw him ended up being exiled and now loaned to Borussia Dortmund. Guys, I think Pellistri is heavily in Eric Ten Hag's plans, but I don't think he had the players, and the team was playing in the style that he wanted Pellistri to develop in. I feel like he was thinking it may hamper Pellistri's development, as well as Dan Gore, as well as the young Alvaro Fernandez. And I think these are the reasons why those three particularly were sent out on loan. Sent out on loan so they can get game time and much needed experience in different situations, so they can come back and use that as a kick-on start when they go into the next preseason for Manchester United. Guys, let's go into this last, but certainly not least. It's one of those things where the weekend is coming, and as we go on to the weekend, I have to mention to you that there's a landmark milestone achievement for Manchester United, as Kenilworth Road is set to become the 50th away ground Manchester United have visited in the Premier League era. Guys, we know Luton has been in red hot form of late, but losing in their last game 3-1 to a Sheffield United team who's bottom of the table is also damning. What has happened to Sheffield? What has happened to Luton, guys? They scored four, they dropped Brighton, then they scored four against Newcastle to get a point, and then they could barely get one goal. What is going on? And let's go through this article. It is clear that Manchester United have a great history in the Premier League, as they have won the competition a record 13 times. There are 6 clubs that have been ever present in the competition since its inception in 1992. And those teams are Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Tottenham Hotspurs. I don't know why they're mentioning Tottenham Hotspurs because they have never won the competition. I would say that they should have mentioned Manchester City. But at the same time, you know what? Tottenham got the mention. Let's leave it at that. The Daily Mail reports that United's trip to Luton on Sunday will be their first in the Premier League, representing the 50th club that they have played in an away competition. The news of Luton's promotion to England's top division last spring caused quite a stir as many online fans made reference to the club's less than typical Premier League arena. Despite recent work being carried out on the stadium, which saw the Hatters have to wait until September to make their Premier League debut at home, Kenilworth Road is still a complete blast from the past and holds a tiny 11,500 people. For the context, just over 9,000 spectators watched United's FA Cup tie with the League Two Newport at the end of January. Of course, football existed well before the Premier League, and there's nothing really that new about Luton playing Manchester United. The last meeting between the two actually took place in 1992 when the game finished 1-1 in Bedfordshire in the last season of the old First Division. Mick Harford, now a Luton scout and still a regular attendee at the Hatters home games, was a proper thorn in United's side in the old First Division days. He scored against them in 1987, still Luton's last win against United, and also in the draw in 1992. In fact, the two clubs have faced each other 41 times, with the Red Devils coming out on top 30 times, drawing 7 and losing 4 on occasions. The fixture is also steeped in history, as the first game between the sides actually occurred in September 1897, when Newton Heat, as United were called back then, lost 1-2 at home to the Hatters. 2024 has been both good to both teams, as Luton have managed to scrape their way out of relegation zone into 17th, and United have also pulled themselves within 5 points of 5th place. The two sides will be hoping for 3 points on Sunday evening to continue their fine starts to the new year. Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. What are your thoughts? Kenilworth Road, what's gonna happen? I think United are definitely gonna come away with a win, but I don't want to sound like I'm overconfident. At the end of the day, Luton has done well at home to teams like Liverpool, Arsenal. But you know what? We've already beaten Luton this season, 1-0 at Old Trafford, and United was not playing good football in those times. We've beaten a couple teams this season playing not good at all. So imagine now the team is playing with much better consistency, more patterns of attack, more creations of chances, and our forward is in red hot form right now. We are definitely expecting a United win. What type of win? I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna sit here and say maybe it's gonna be something like a 3-1. You know, I think Luton has a goal in them, but United is definitely gonna be on the score sheet multiple times, guys. That's for sure. Big up to you, Compost Smurf, coming in. Good news if it's true. It should be Compost. You know how it is. Big up to you. Ashford previously knocked us back because he'd have little power in his position. It's one of those things, bro, that I agree with. But at the same time, I would like everyone to take this time. There's an article that you could check out online if you Google Omar Barada and his imprint. I think is the title of the article. When I was Googling around, to find information on Omar Barada and what he has done, I read a few articles, and in some of those articles, they were talking about his idea of football and some of the coaches that has wowed him and some of the people that has made him, think twice in positive ways. And he has a lot to say about the sporting director at Girona, guys. And it's funny that I'm just mentioning this now because early on this month, when we were talking about him, I told Jarvis that, we're probably not going to even check Girona, not even for their coach. But, I probably was right about the coach issue. But, guys, maybe Dan Ashworth may not be the guy. I'm just saying, keep your minds open, look at the news around, and look at the design of our new CEO. He's a different type of character, guys. He's not the regular type. He's not one of those guys that's uppity or stuck in the mud. He's one of those guys. He's a bit pragmatic. He has an open mind and he does things differently. And he used to be at Barcelona, guys. So, reports are that, Paul Mitchell has been scouting a lot of our targets in the last 6 months. He's been all over Spain and Europe, scouting a lot of the Manchester United targets. So I would like you to guys to also keep in mind that there might be something coming in with Paul Mitchell as well. Manu Tata, what does that mean? Kisan Zenabad Modi Mudaba. I don't know what that means, bro. Come back and tell me in English, bro, because that's not working out at all. Big up Nikhil coming in. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a great one yourself. Kenny Fan TV is coming in saying, we'll beat Luton, but it's going to be an ugly win. I don't think it's going to be ugly. United hasn't been playing too bad recently, guys. I think it's going to be one of those things. Campos Move is coming. What if Pep sent his friend over to sabotage us? bro, bro. I think about some things like that, but it could only be a laughable joke, bro. You know what I mean? How could you think about it like that? Like it's actually, I doubt that'd be practical, bro. And Nikhil is coming in saying, are they going to sign Pep's brother? That's why they let Omar go. No one knows. No one knows. I'm not a City fan, but I could give you some information about that next week because there's one of my friends who is a super City fan. He's been talking about some stuff and he's telling me he's going to come and join the stream with me one day next week. So maybe I'll get him to talk about City and give you some information on that, Nikhil. But right now, as I'm saying, right now what I'm going to think about is that basically I look at the new progress as I'm not one who was a fan of the Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake, but now that it's arrived, now that the Premier League has ratified it, I'm going to sit down and say, you know what? Let's give this guy 6 to 12 months to see how he operates, what changes he makes, who he brings into the club, how he buys in the summer, and then we will make some judgments on if this is positive or not. I think, we've heard some grandiose statements about, let's build a new stadium. Where's the 2 billion coming from? Either way, it's going to be 1.7 or $2 billion to build a stadium. Are we fans going to open up a GoFundMe and build a stadium? Maybe we should, because at 500 million fans worldwide, everyone puts in 40 pounds. Guys, we could build the best state-of-the-art stadium and own it as well. Keep the name Old Trafford so they could never change it because the stadium will be fan-owned. You know what I mean? Maybe we could even set the prices for tickets, keep it at a standard price. You know, 150,000 seats. It will definitely sell out every match day because you know what, guys? The season ticket holder list is over 200 people long in the waiting list alone. Imagine that, guys. So can you imagine if we was to build a state-of-the-art stadium, let's say 120, 150,000 seats, it would still sell out every match day, guys. I'm pretty sure about that one. We're not like the empty had, the league neighbors in blue. Their stadium's always half empty, even on the big match days. The only time it's sold out is when United comes to town. Bet your bottom dollar that's the case, guys. Big up to you, Nikhil. Compo Smurf is coming in. I don't like it either, but it's all we've got. 100%. I'm saying it. I'm saying this to the fans. We've got some players are in and about right now. Not all of them are amazing, and not all of them might seem to us like we might not see that what the future has in store for them. But at the same time, they are what we have. We need to support them as fans because right now they're all we got for the next 15 games, and it's pivotal that we at least win 12 of the next sets of fixtures coming in. We have a good run in the next two games. We face Luton away, Fulham at home, and then we play in the cup away, and then it's Man City, guys. I'm not too afraid of City, but it's always going to be a tough game when we meet those city rivals. These noisy neighbors that always trying to chap, chap, chap. But we always know that they're still a small club at the end of the day. Manu Tata, Sachev, it hurts to see the state of our farmers. They're being treated the worst. Probably, bro, probably. I'm not too sure what you're talking about. Nikhil is coming in. All we can do is be optimistic. I'm all for it. We can feel the changes. Yeah, 100%. Change is good, and it's 100% necessary that things happen and these things go on. And like as a United fan, lots of people would probably be saying to you, standards, standards, standards. But guys, let's be realistic for once. If we look back at this squad, right, at least 70% of this squad was here 3 years ago. And these were the same players we were complaining about when Ralph Ragnick said, we need open heart surgery, 10 players out, 10 new players come into the club. We need to change everything, break it all down. So it's one of those things for me where I look at it like, you know, we're 1.5 seasons into a rebuild. We're going to have mistakes. We're going to have shortcomings. We're going to have some inconsistency. But as you can see, in the last 5 to 7 games, we have been showing a consistent improvement in our defensive capabilities, in the structure and soundness of our midfield, and consistently creating more and more opportunities for goal scoring, as well as being more clinical. We've scored 13 goals in the last 4 games. Guys, it's one of those things. And I'm not even including the last game we played. So if I add that game, it's 15 goals in the last 5. 15. That's a lot of goals, guys. That's certainly an improvement on clinicality by the forward line. And you know what's the biggest point, guys? No one ever talks about it, but Manchester United has the youngest attack in the Premier League. The youngest front three. There's no front three in the Premier League that's younger than Manchester United's. We have a 19-year-old running on the wing. We have a 20-year-old playing at striker who just turned 21, so he's 21. And we have Marcus Rashford, who everyone says is a kid, but he's 26. You know what I mean? So 26, 21, 19. If you look at City, their attack is much older than that. If you look at Arsenal, their attack is also older than that. If you look at Liverpool, their attack is one of the oldest in the league. Diego Jota is what, 29? Mo Salah is 30, 34, 32, I think, or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you have to look at it like Manchester United is a work in progress. It's a young squad for the most part in some situations. Our midfield has the most experience, in the team. So it's one of those things where you got to give it time to work, and it's been working recently. So now you got to support these guys. They've been giving some decent performances. We should give them some flowers as well. Let's see if we could get this positivity train straight into Old Trafford and give these players a mental boost, knowing that the fans, not just in the stadium, but around social media, are behind them, because we need to push on from where we are right now, stack these wins up one game at a time, onwards and upwards, straight until the end of the season, guys. Straight until the end of the season. Manu Tata, Man City is a young club. They will be bigger than us by 20. Manu Tata, bro, I'm sorry to say to you, but listen, in the next 2 years, it's not going to happen. United is going to make a comeback, bro. Campo Smith, we will know Ineos' intentions soon enough by who they choose to sell. And that's the biggest point for me. I've been saying this all along. We need to see outgoings. We need to see some players leave this club. And a lot of people might be disappointed and they might be frustrated, but I'm saying this now. Whether it be Marcus Rashford, whether it be Bruno Fernandes, whether it be, other players and other favorites, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, these players need to leave the club. A few of them need to be shown the door this summer if Man United are to be serious in changing the ethos at the club. Should I? Maybe you should. Maybe you should. Stephanie, Rasmus keeps scoring till the end of the season on a consistent basis. We definitely have a chance. And with Garnacho's form recently, like, you want to know something? Even though Garnacho hasn't scored as many goals as Rasmus recently, he's always been that player that provides a consistent threat throughout the game in the last few games. He's really turning into that kind of, giving you that kind of air of a Ronaldo. I'm not going to say he's like a young Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's starting to give off airs like it because, that guy used to give off the airs that, anything could happen when he's on the field. And we should get the ball to him more than likely because he's going to do something. And that is very, very positive, guys. And you know what? This is a positive stream, but it's also a reality stream. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to say this: Manchester United changes our foot. Things are happening. We're moving forward. Even though the steps might be little bitty steps, one at a time, it's still progress at the end of the day. Guys, give it some time. Have a little patience with the manager. Have a little patience with the squad. Let's sit back and observe what Ineos does and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and not get giddy just yet. Because you know what? One game at a time. The road is still long. Top four is still in sight, guys. We are 5 points off fifth, 6 points off fourth. Guys, could it be done? We need to keep winning. One game at a time. We face Luton this weekend, guys. And I know there are lots of players you might not want to see starting, but rotation is going to be coming in to be key in the coming games because we definitely have to be fully fit and ready to face Manchester City. Guys, some good news. Luke Shaw is fit, back on grass training this week. We'll be going through some tests just to prove his fitness, to make sure that he's fit and ready to play against Luton this weekend. So he is going to be back on the left. There's still no update on Terrell Malacia, still no update on Wan-Bissaka, but there's set to be reports to be made about his determination and what injury he's suffering from in the manager's press conference on Thursday, tomorrow. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Let me just read these last bit of comments. Definitely, Stephanie Gano has a cutting edge. He really does well. You know what I mean? I would just like to see him pass the ball a little bit more. You know what I mean? It will kind of give him more room because, if he passes more, I feel like the defenders would give him more space to operate. Campo Smith. Garnacho is frustrating, but he's working back a lot better. He needs to stop watching Rashford in training and pass the ball more. 100%. Manu Tata, if you look at Sunday's game and use that as an example, the manager will rotate. You know what? You know how he operates with players. Sofian Amrabat just came back from AFCON. He's going to have him in training a few weeks before he puts him out into the team. He's already came on as a substitute in a game. You never know what's going to happen on Sunday. He might start with Amrabat. You never know. He might give Kobe Mainu a rest and bring him on in the second half. You never know, guys. And the manager, he may not have rotated players as much as we would have liked, genuinely, as fans. Maybe some fans are comfortable with the amount of rotation he's already done. Maybe some fans think he should be rotating more. But at the end of the day, he's the manager. And if you trust him at least a little bit, you can see that there are positives. We were playing a 4-4-2 at the end of the game against Aston Villa. Scott McTominay was next to Hoyland. We had a four midfield across the gap that flooded the middle and won back possession for us, that took back control of that game. And this was a decision made by the manager, guys. And I know I sound like I'm Eric Ten Hag's Defense League #1 captain. Maybe I'm the general. So, you know what? Have a great day. See you later, Stephanie Griffith. Malu Tata, thank you for joining me, bro. I hope you have a good one. Campo Smurf, glad to see you, my brother. Hope you have a good day at work today. Nikhil, same to you. Big up to you, Kenny Fan TV, always coming through and, jumping in the streams and keeping me company. Big up. Big up to everyone. Big up to Brush for coming in. I hope you have a good day, bro. See you guys later because there's definitely going to be Champions League. I'm going to be doing a roundup tonight and talking about all the games, and I'm going to be showing some highlight clips of the goals, stuff like that, with no audio. Don't want to get the feed blacked out. Richard Hudson, bro, come back tomorrow. Let me know what you're thinking because I definitely think Mbappe might not be a ridiculous idea because you know what? If there's any team he would play for in England, it would certainly only be Manchester United. He already refused Liverpool twice last season, and Manchester City is still a small club, and so is Arsenal. Guys, you might hate it, but at the end of the day, the reality is what it is. Hope you all have a great day. It's been your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan, with the morning views. Yeah, I'd rest Kobe too. You know what I mean? Luton's going to be flying into challenges. There's some players I'd give a rest. I'd probably even, you know what? You might think it's weird. I'd probably start Ahmad in a false nine and let Hoyland come on in the second half. People might think I'm crazy, but I'm just thinking he's the only striker that we have fit. We can't afford any bad tackles on that guy. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you all again later. I'm going to be on later with Mick Ruby and the guys. Don't forget to check out the stream. There's going to be Vicky Witterbird, Mark Briggs, Jarvis Cocker is going to be there, and probably Stu Wally. Guys, have a great day. See you all later. Don't forget to smash the likes on your way out. Share it on your Twitter. Share it on your Facebook. Help me spread the channel around. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by the end of this month. I'm not sure I'm going to be successful, but I'm damn near going to try. Hope you have a great day. Catch you all later. Peace. Oh.